O'Keefe and
one shot today.
We're not going to have a first timers there closest to us. Well, they might still get away actually as long as Mackinamillion slows down.
As prominent as Clever Currency leads Whiskey Wealth and Gary Bello. Pigeon House on the rail is Roomy, followed by Answering. Start cap of Nada on this side with the nose band is Grappananino. Losing Zafanian at the first, and Inconvenience was Ballycallan King. In the lead, heading uphill to the second flight is Clever Currency by just about a length to Whiskey Wealth, and then Gary Bello and Pigeon House and Grappananino. Roomy next with Mackinamillion and Nada and Answering the Shantou King. Katina Zapata the inside, then Killymore Lad and Bowmore. Further back in the field to Holly and Wellhan and Timeless Peace and War Correspondent, and then comes Hands On, who's followed by Club Manager. Well back is Median Ranger, followed by Judicious Elen, another one who is trailing the field with Sign from Above, and the one that was badly hampered at the first flight, Ballycallan King, is well off it at the back as they go uphill to flight number 3. Walking away is Dada Allen, who took a fall from Zafanian at the first flight. In the lead is Clever Currency going over the mound, heading downhill towards the fourth flight. It's Clever Currency, followed by Whiskey Wealth. A couple of lengths to Gary Bello and the Shantou King, and Pigeon House alongside. On the inside is Roomy as they turn, followed by Answering and Katina Zapata and Grappananino next with Mackinamillion and War Correspondent, and then Nada and Holly next, followed by Bowmore. On the inside, Killymore Lad, and then Wellhan and Timeless Peace and Median Ranger, and Hands On is next, and then Judicious Elen, Club Manager, Sign from Above, Ballycallan King. Turning a right to head into the back straight, continuing their journey towards halfway. Fractional leader up top is Clever Currency, turning to head down the far side from Whiskey Wealth, who's within a length, a couple of lengths, then a Gary Bello edging the third from Pigeon House, and then Roomy and the Shantou King, those two together, and then Mackinamillion and Grappananino and War Correspondent. Answering is next with Nada, followed then by Katina Zapata. Holly is after them with Timeless Peace, and then Bowmore and Wellhan and Killymore Lad and Hands On next with Median Ranger. Towards the rear still Judicious Elen, along with Sign from Above, Club Manager, and Adrift is Ballycallan King. First of the flights down the far side as they head for halfway. Gary Bello hit that very hard, did well to survive, has lost multiple placings as a result into mid-division. Next on the far side, Clever Currency, joined by Whiskey Wealth, and then Pigeon House, who latches onto their heels, followed by the Shantou King. Next on the inside is Roomy with Mackinamillion and War Correspondent, tracked out of the back straight by Nada, and then Grappananino and Katina Zapata. Answering next with Killymore Lad and Holly, and then Bowmore, Timeless Peace and Median Ranger, and then comes Wellhan. Judicious Elen is struggling, and then Hands On, who's followed by Sign from Above, Club Manager. 5 lengths to Ballycallan King. They're turning towards the second last flight. There's a change of leader as Whiskey Wealth picks it up for John Shinnick. They go on from Clever Currency, and Pigeon House is next. Ridden along is the Shantou King. Out wide is the Grey coming into it, War Correspondent. Then Roomy and Mackinamillion and Katina Zapata. After them is Nada and Holly and Killymore Lad as they head for the home turn. Whiskey Wealth makes the run for the entrance to the straight, tracked in by Pigeon House, who's much closer. Then Mackinamillion, War Correspondent. Closing in between horses is Nada. Then Katina Zapata and Killymore Lad next with Holly. Answering, Bowmore, Median Ranger. Timeless Peace is next as they turn into the straight, just over 2 furlongs to go, and it's Pigeon House who's come to claim Whiskey Wealth as they straighten past the 2, 1 left to jump in the specialist group handicap hurdle, and it is Pigeon House who's gone for this race. Killymore Lad comes out of the pack to pick up the chase, then Mackinamillion. Whiskey Wealth fades, Nada down the outside. Coming to the final flight, it's Pigeon House from Killymore Lad, the challenger. Nada 2 lengths off them, but closing inside the final furlong. Timeless Peace is down at the last. It's Pigeon House strongly pressed by Killymore Lad. They're locked together. Pigeon House on the inside, and Nico de Boinville are forging on by 3/4 of a length to see off Killymore Lad. Third is Nada, a gap in the Median Ranger, the Club Manager, and Mackinamillion and Judicious Elen, and Answering and Wellhan next. Fading out of it fast was Whiskey Wealth.
It's a winner here for Nico de Boinville in the colours, familiar colours of Joe O'Flaherty, trained by Jessica Harrington. Pigeon House has taken the opener here, getting the better of Killymore Lad, who's run a blinder in the first time tongue strap for Andy Slattery in second. Pigeon House returning at 16-1 here. It was his second run in a handicap. He contested the Boodles at the Cheltenham Festival, finished 9th that day. The There was plenty of incident again in the big field. We just saw Gary Bello making a shocking error there. We had a casualty in the very first flight. Zafanian went and hampered a couple, including the green and white jacket of Ballycallan King, who was never a factor thereafter. And the eventual winner, Ruby, even though they looked like they were going a decent clip, he was never too far off the pace.
So that's more reflective of the ground, Gary. And I wouldn't think it's too slow, because they went hard, and when we watched them going this gallop, or even a fraction slower on Tuesday, they weren't getting home. But you can see Nico de Bonville on Pigeon Island sat in third place here. Whiskey Welt took over off a really strong gallop very early, and he pays the price. But Nico was always in a good position, but I was surprised that the pace held up. I was looking further backwards. Nara, Katina Zapata, even looking back to Jack Kennedy and on the red cap on the spare right he got
Median
Aranja. I was looking in that part of the group thinking these are going to fold in front, but to be fair to the winner, he was close to the pace and has really kept going.
It was a significant error, 3 from home there from Holly, just as the tempo was lifting. She was on the back foot after that, and you can just see Killimore Lad going past her as if she was standing still there on the way into that final turn under Philip Donovan. Club manager, see the stripe cap there, he must have been 12th place at best turning in. He's rattled home to finish 4th or 5th at the end. It just looked a bit sharp for him today.
That we were talking earlier, Bellewstown long straight, no horses you can get by them. It's so hard here from the second last hurdle to that bend to get by hurdles. Unfortunately, Fowler still down at the last, but to be fair to Pigeon Island, Nico de Bonville, hands and heels, has kept going. Did look like he drifted slightly away from the rail, but couldn't imagine he drifted away far enough to have caused that much interference, so I wouldn't be too worried about that.